I'm Mircha. I was cleaning up after breakfast when suddenly the doorbell rang. Please hold on a moment. Being 8 months pregnant, I can't move quickly. So I said that and slowly made my way to the entrance. Sorry for making you wait. When I opened the entrance, my brother-in-law's wife, Janie, was standing there with a scowl on her face, complaining, "Why are you so slow? What were you doing?" "Ah, sorry, my belly's gotten big and I can't move fast." "What? Stop making excuses." "Oh, what?" "Not what. I told you to stop acting spoiled. When I was pregnant, I could move just fine." Janie frowned at me, sighed loudly as if to show me, then checked the time on her mobile phone and said, "I don't have much time, so I'll just tell you what I need." "What do you need?" "From tomorrow, you'll take care of my 3 sons for, let's see, 3 days." "What? I told you last time that I can't." "I heard you, but you took care of them, didn't you?" "That was only until the evening, and even that was tough. Now you're asking for 3 days?" "Enough. Unlike you who has no friends, I'm busy. Besides..." Janie started making excuses with an annoyed tone. She said she has to accompany her father, a congressman, on an inspection tour starting tomorrow, and she can't take her children with her. Finally, she glared at me and said, "That's why you'll take care of my sons. I won't accept a no. This is an order." I was really angry. I tried to suppress my irritation and said to Janie, "It's impossible. As you can see, I'm pregnant. You understand that I can't take care of children, right?" "What? My children are 5, 2, and 1 year old, but I took care of them just fine while I was pregnant." "That's because they're your own children. It's different when you're taking care of someone else's kids. We're not strangers. You're practically family since you're my sister-in-law. Regardless, what's impossible is impossible. Don't complain. You're plain and friendless. Just quietly take care of the kids." Janie finally lost her temper and shouted at me. However, there was no way I was backing down. I had a solid reason not to. Janie had always looked down on me and treated me terribly. She constantly had excuses to borrow money and even dumped her children on me. I was at my breaking point. Looking back, Janie had always looked down on me from the first time we met. I first met Janie at our wedding. Our wedding was very simple. We just invited our parents and a few friends. It was almost like a home party. Both Archer and I were shy and not good with big crowds. That's why neither of us had many friends. On the other hand, Archer was the heir to the hospital his father managed. He worked as a doctor and had many professional acquaintances. I was just a banker, but because I worked at the local bank, Archer's hospital was a major client. So, my superiors felt obligated to attend my wedding. This meant many people attending were not close friends, but professional contacts. We anticipated this would be a challenge for both of us, being shy. So, we decided to have a small wedding with only close family and friends. Only close friends and family will be in attendance. With this, even shy people like us don't have to worry. That's why we decided to have a wedding like a house party. But Janie, who came to our wedding with her children, whispered to me, "What is this? Is this even a real wedding?" "Oh yes, we're not fond of big events. Plus, we didn't have many friends we wanted to invite." "Wow, so you are the dull, friendless sister-in-law. What am I going to tell my friends?" "Excuse me?" I said, "It's terrible that someone as plain as you is my sister-in-law." Janie spat the words out, but she said this in a place where only I could hear. In front of our in-laws, Janie said sweetly, "It's so great that Archer found such a wonderful wife. We've always been so worried about him." Seeing this, I finally realized. I get it. She looks down on me. That's fine, I thought. After the wedding, I wouldn't have to see her often. There aren't that many family gatherings in a year. With that in mind, I tolerated her during the wedding. But that seemed to be a mistake. Janie targeted me even more. After the wedding, as I was leaving, Janie approached and said, "Mircea, let's exchange contact information." "Why?" "Well, we're sisters now, aren't we? It's fine to keep in touch," she said with a grin. It seemed obvious she was up to something, but no one else seemed to notice. Archer even suggested, "Why don't you exchange contact information? It's good to have someone close to talk to." But, hesitatingly, Archer added, "She's Norman's wife, so it would be nice if you two got along." "Oh, right, I see." I reluctantly exchanged contact information. As we did, Janie whispered to me so that Archer couldn't hear, "Don't be scared over something like this. It's no competition, right?" "I'm not scared or anything." "Well, plain people who don't have friends worry about their contact information being misused, right?" "That's not... Looking forward to getting to know you, poor Mircea." Janie whispered in my ear and left with a happy laugh. Right after, Archer asked me, "It looked like you had a good time. What did you talk about?" "Yeah, she said she's looking forward to getting to know me." "That's it?" "And some girls' secrets, I guess." Hearing that, Archer seemed to be relieved and nodded. Later, I got to know about Janie from Archer. Janie is the daughter of a state legislator, a true lady. She's also married to Norman, who's a doctor just like Archer, and is his brother. They already have 3 children. From the way she talks, it seems like she has a wide circle of friends. In that sense, she might be considered successful, but that's just her profile. Her personality is the worst, and she's just mean. From her attitude, it seems like there's a possibility that Janie is disliked by people around her. Still, I can't understand how she can feel superior to others. But she is my sister-in-law, so I guess I have to get along with her. I sighed. I didn't like her condescending attitude and the fact that we didn't get along. Just thinking about the future made me feel depressed. Even though our married life started with a gloomy cloud, it was fun when it was just me and Archer. We enjoyed our leisurely pace and had similar tastes in food and interior design. It felt like we had been married for many years from the beginning of our marriage. I hope these days will continue, I thought, but of course it wasn't that easy. After a while, Janie contacted me. "Mircea, do you have time now?" Oh, I shouldn't have asked unnecessary questions. You don't have friends, so you must be free, right?" I could hear her laughing voice from the other end of the phone. Irritated, I asked, "Do you have something you need?" "What? Are you mad about this? That's why shy, poor people who aren't used to conversations are." Janie continued talking as if she were talking to herself. I ignored everything she said. "So, our eldest son is going to start preschool soon. And? You're slow. It's a celebration, a celebration." Ah, it seemed like she wanted money. But Norman, like Archer, is a doctor. He has completed his internship and residency and is now a respectable doctor. So, they must be receiving a decent salary. I don't think they are struggling financially. So I asked Janie, "A celebration is just a matter of feelings, right?" "Huh? Why?" "I heard Norman's training at Archer is over, so he must be receiving a proper salary by now." "That's beside the point. Are you planning to be stingy for your nephew's celebration?" "I didn't mean to. Well, $1,000 will be fine. What? $1,000? There are various things I need. So for the celebration, I want cash. $1,000, please. In the end, Janie unilaterally said so and hung up the phone. Of course, Janie is the daughter of a state legislator, so she may not know the common sense of the world, I thought. So I consulted Archer, and Archer asked, "How much is the going rate?" "About $100 for relatives. Sometimes grandparents give around $300. "I see. But well..." Archer fell into deep thought. After that, Archer told me this story. Norman is a doctor, but he has just finished his training. Salaries are not high during residency. His parents have been helping with the household expenses, but they have 3 children, so I doubt they can afford to help much. So he intends to help and wants to give $1,000 for this celebration. What do you think? Archer finally asked for my agreement. I was frustrated beyond belief. I could only think that Janie was making selfish demands for her own gain, but there was no evidence of that. And considering Archer's struggle during his training as well, he might understand Norman's hardships. With that in mind, I could nod in agreement with what Archer said. All right, I'll wrap $1,000 for this time. I was dissatisfied, but I decided to endure it this time. However, such endurance backfired. Janie's demands escalated, and she started asking for money every time something came up. For example, like this. "It's the birthday of my younger child next week." "Again? What do you mean? I have 3 children, so it's normal to have 3 birthdays a year, right?" "Yes, but..." "Anyway, please take care of the celebration." There was also a time when I reluctantly went out with Janie, and she took me to a family restaurant. And then, after letting her children eat a lot, Janie said, "Okay, Mircha, pay the money." "What? I'm paying?" "It's natural for the older one to pay when eating with a lot of people. Well, I suppose you wouldn't know since you don't have any friends." Janie somehow demeaned me and laughed. I was angry, but I quietly paid because we were in a public place. Such things happened repeatedly, and so I started to feel sick of hanging out with Janie. Then, one day, while I was doing housework, I suddenly felt nauseous. I rushed to the toilet. Is it stress? Once I calmed down a bit, I contacted Archer. Then Archer immediately told me to come to the hospital. When I took a taxi to the hospital, Archer was there to greet me. "Are you alright?" "Yes, I'm calm now." "Let's have an OBGYN check you out." I immediately went for a checkup. I thought it must be stress causing my stomach to act up. But to my surprise, the doctor smiled and said, "You're pregnant." "What? Pregnant?" Turns out my nausea was morning sickness. Looking back, it all made sense. "Congrats, Mircha." I felt a surge of happiness when Archer said that. But there was no time to be only happy. I was worried about what Janie might do to me during the pregnancy. With those worries, I told my parents-in-law about the pregnancy. Much to my surprise, mother-in-law Kelly was over the moon. Since it was Archer's wife who was pregnant, Kelly started coming by often to check on me. This meant Janie had less opportunity to approach me. Eventually, with Kelly practically living with us, Janie stopped contacting me altogether. I felt relieved and grateful to Kelly. 1 month passed, then another, and before I knew it, several months flew by. One early morning, Janie showed up at our house. "What's going on?" I asked, and Janie looked around the house. "Where are Kelly and Archer?" "Archer's gone to work. Kelly isn't here. Why?" I answered, and Janie sighed in relief. "Good. Can you watch the boys for a bit?" What? Preschool? I was about to say when it hit me. It was Sunday. I had thought it was a weekday since Archer went to work. Just watch them, okay? But there's a forum with Father. I have to go. Why? There are people from Father's supporters group. I have to greet them. I checked my phone and found there was a citizens forum with a state register, Janie's father, participating. The hospital where father-in-law works was also listed as a participant in the state register's lecture. Given the situation, I couldn't say no. But I'm pregnant. Quite. Just watch them until evening. Before I could stop her, Janie rushed out of the house. Great. How am I supposed to take care of kids in this condition? I looked at the children Janie brought. They were all well-behaved and sweet. Well, they are my nephews. I guess I have to take care of them. I sighed and let the nephews in. Just then, the doorbell rang and I shrugged my shoulders. Yes? Oh, were you going somewhere? Kelly, perfect timing. I immediately went to Kelly for help and explained the situation. Honestly, do you think I'm completely clueless? Haven't you learned your lesson yet? What do you mean? Oh, I'm talking about this. Just so you know, I'll be mad at you the next time we meet. With Kelly saying that, I felt a bit relieved. Then I started to worry about my nephew. Please, lend me a hand. I need to take care of the children. I asked Kelly to come upstairs immediately. With her help, I somehow managed to take care of my nephews. But before evening, Kelly had to leave to prepare dinner for her husband. For the next hour or so, until Janie returned, I was left alone to take care of the 3 children. When Janie finally came back in the evening, I said, "Please, don't ever put me through this again." What? You have plenty of free time, don't you? You should be able to handle taking care of the children. I may have time, but I'm pregnant. I can't move around as easily if something happens. I protested strongly, but Janie, completely indifferent to my pleas, said, "Stop complaining. I'll ask you again next week," and left in a huff. Next week? You're going to leave them with me again? Despite my firm refusal, she didn't listen and even declared she would leave them with me again. I was utterly astounded. In trouble, I immediately called Kelly for advice. I see, she really hasn't learned her lesson. By the way, did you tell her I helped you today? No, I didn't. Let's teach her a lesson then. Teach her a lesson? It will be a much stronger punishment than just me being angry. What should I do? She said she's going to leave them with you again next week, right? Then contact Assist. Assist? Yes, here's the contact information for Assist. With that, Kelly gave me the contact information for someone we both knew well. Someone I was currently receiving help from and felt reassured by. I didn't understand why she suggested this person, but if Kelly said so, then Janie must dislike them. I took note of the contact information. A week passed, and just as she had declared, Janie came. She said she wanted me to take care of her 3 sons for the next 3 days starting tomorrow. It was already hard for me to move around because of my pregnancy, let alone take care of children. Anyway, it's impossible. When I said that, Janie finally lost her temper. Stop complaining. You're plain and don't have any friends, so just shut up and take care of the children. Janie raised her voice. That's when I played my trump card. Then I'll call Assist. Assist? You don't have any friends, do you? Janie sneered. I took out my mobile phone and replied, I'm not calling a friend, I'm calling Assist. Who's that? Our hospital's nurse, Lucille. Lucille? Janie's voice went up an octave, and she panickedly grabbed my mobile phone. No, not her, anybody but her. Janie's reaction was way over the top. Was she really that afraid of someone? But Lucille is renowned for being incredibly kind at the hospital. Especially to first-time moms like me, she provides detailed, considerate advice. That's why I rely on her so much. Pushing Janie's hand away, I exclaimed, "We need her assistance." "No, anyone but her." "Why is that?" When I asked, Janie clammed up. She didn't seem like she'd answer anytime soon. Feeling left with no choice, I called Lucille. At that moment, Janie shouted, "Enough of this!" and ran off. Later, Lucille, after getting my call, shared this story with me. Just before I got married, Lucille had helped out at a fundraiser for Janie's father. There, she saw Janie hand in hand with a secretary. To Lucille, they clearly looked like they were having an affair. After the event, Lucille decided to follow them. They entered the secretary's apartment, confirming Lucille's suspicions. Of course, she told her friend Kelly about it. Kelly told Norman, but Norman said he wouldn't confront Janie. The reason was simple. Norman already knew about Janie's affair. He was gathering evidence for a divorce. This became a secret just between the three of them. However, Janie realized Lucille had seen her. Janie tried to silence Lucille by saying, "Keep your mouth shut or you're fired." But Lucille shot back, "I might spill the beans too." "Please don't." "Then don't mess with me. I'll keep your secret." That's how Lucille got the upper hand over Janie. And that's why Janie was so scared of Lucille. Yet, Lucille told both Norman and Kelly, so Janie's attempts were in vain. It's almost comical she hasn't realized that yet. In the end, Janie took her kid on a business trip with her father. On the trip, she had a big fight with the secretary, her lover. Her father discovered the affair, and the secretary got fired. This was the last straw, and Norman initiated a divorce. He even demanded a DNA test for the kids. The results confirmed all three kids were Norman's. According to Janie, it was because Norman and the secretary had different blood types. I was amazed she had thought that far. However, this revealed Janie's deceitful nature. Norman claimed a substantial amount in damages and custody of the children. Of course, jobless Janie couldn't pay. Janie's father cleared all the dues for her. Now, Janie quietly works in her father's office to pay off the debt. On the other hand, I had my baby, and am busy taking care of him. After this incident, the hospital parted ways with Janie's father's fundraiser group. I shouldn't see Janie again. Quietly, I deleted Janie's contact. And naturally, I added Lucille's instead.